In 1805, Britain was locked in a fierce struggle with Napoleonic France. While Napoleon Bonaparte dominated mainland Europe, achieving one of his greatest victories at Austerlitz against the Russians and Austrians, Britain's Royal Navy held unchallenged supremacy at sea. This naval dominance was cemented 6 weeks earlier at the Battle of Trafalgar, off the coast of Spain, where the Royal Navy decisively defeated the combined fleets of France and Spain. The enemy suffered devastating losses, ensuring British naval superiority for the remainder of the war. This victory allowed Britain to protect its homeland, project power into Europe, disrupt enemy trade, seize valuable colonies, and sustain its allies, playing a pivotal role in Napoleon's eventual defeat. Britain's wooden walls, the Royal Navy, boasted 136 ships of the line and 110,000 men at sea, making it the world's preeminent naval power. Among its most formidable warships was HMS Victory, a first-rate ship of the line with 104 guns and a crew of 820. A single broadside from Victory delivered more firepower than all the guns in Wellington's army at Waterloo. HMS Victory was constructed during the 7 Years' War to bolster British naval power. Designed by Sir Thomas Slade, Britain's foremost naval architect, construction began in 1759 at Chatham Royal Dockyard. Around 6,000 trees, primarily British oak, with New England pine for masts and elm for the keel, went into her creation. Launched in 1765, Victory was a masterpiece of naval engineering, combining the firepower of a first-rate warship with the speed and agility of a lighter vessel. Though she missed the 7 Years' War, she saw action during the American War of Independence, leading the capture of a French convoy off Ushant in 1778. By 1797, at 32 years old, Victory was considered past her prime and faced conversion into a prison hulk. However, a last-minute reprieve and a major 3-year refit, costing more than her original construction, restored her to service in 1803 as Vice Admiral Nelson's flagship. 2 years later, she would lead the British attack at Trafalgar, securing her place in naval legend. HMS Victory was a floating fortress, the most sophisticated weapon of war in the Napoleonic era. Her crew of approximately 820 men and boys, from the admiral to the ship's boys, each had a designated role. The ship's structure was designed for both combat and endurance. Key nautical terms defined her layout: starboard, right, larboard, left, later called port, stern, rear, stem, front, aft, toward the stern, and fore, toward the bow. Victory's middle gun deck stretched 186 feet, and her main mast towered 205 feet above the waterline. With a top speed of 10 knots, she was fast for her size, aided by copper sheathing that protected her hull from shipworm and marine growth. Victory was ship-rigged with 3 masts, foremast, mainmast, and mizzenmast, each supporting multiple sails, totaling 6,500 square yards of canvas. Her rigging included 26 miles of rope and 786 pulleys, with standing rigging for structural support and running rigging to manage sails. The ship's upper deck comprised the forecastle, waist, quarterdeck, and poop deck, each serving specific functions, from housing the ship's bell to mounting guns and carronades. Victory's 3 gun decks were the heart of her firepower. The upper gun deck housed 30 12-pounder guns, the middle deck 28 24-pounders, and the lower deck 30 32-pounders. These decks were not only for combat but also living quarters, with over 460 men sleeping in hammocks on the lower gun deck. The orlop deck, below the waterline, served as a warren of cabins, storerooms, and the cockpit, which doubled as the surgeon's operating theater during battle. It was here that Nelson was carried after being fatally wounded at Trafalgar. The hold, at the ship's bottom, stored provisions for up to 6 months, including 257 tons of iron ballast, 200 tons of shingle, and barrels of salt beef, pork, and ship's biscuit. The Grand Magazine, holding 35 tons of gunpowder, was heavily protected to prevent catastrophic explosions. Victory's operations relied on manpower, with capstans enabling up to 260 men to raise anchors or hoist guns, often accompanied by shanties and a fiddler tune. The quarterdeck served as Victory's command center, housing the ship's wheel, magnetic compasses in the binnacle, and cabins for the captain and senior officers. The admiral's quarters, located on the upper gun deck, included an anteroom, dining room, and day cabin for administrative duties. Communication with other ships relied on a signaling system of 14 flags, capable of conveying 340 messages, supplemented by gunfire, lanterns, or rockets at night. Today, HMS Victory resides in dry dock in Portsmouth, England, as the world's oldest commissioned warship and a popular visitor attraction. Her survival is a testament to her robust design and historical significance. Currently undergoing a 10-year conservation project, Victory remains open to visitors, offering a glimpse into the craftsmanship of expert shipwrights, preserving her for future generations. The National Museum of the Royal Navy supports this effort, ensuring that Victory's legacy endures as a symbol of Britain's naval triumph during the Napoleonic Wars.